Take a look at the financials, making quite a comeback this week as concerns over the health of Credit Suisse have eased. Joining us now is Atlas Merchant Capital CEO and former Barclays CEO Bob Diamond. Good week to have you on, Bob, because you used to lead one of these European banks. What do you make of the fact that these executives are having to try really hard to assure their shareholders that everything is okay?
So I think this is against the backdrop, Sarah, of something you and I have been talking about since we formed Atlas Merchant Capital in 2015, and that is the competitive strength of the U.S. integrated banks versus those in the U.K. and Europe. And, you know, the actions taken by the regulators post the financial crisis in the U.S. around TARP allowed two banks, Bank of America and Citi, who at the moment, without TARP, were insolvent, to become very, very strong. They recovered, and today they're, competing very, very strongly in the U.S. market and globally. And we've seen this across Europe. Royal Bank of Scotland is still owned by the government. You're seeing the situation and the challenges at Credit Suisse today. We've seen the trials and tribulations of Deutsche Bank over a decade. So I think the theme here is that the European integrated banks were not allowed to recover and prosper post the financial crisis, and we're seeing a continuation of that. So Credit Suisse is in some ways an example of that, and in some ways a separate case.
So you don't sound very optimistic. How bad do you think it's going to get for some of these companies, like a Credit Suisse, as they go in? What do you think is going to happen here? You think we're going to see mergers?
I think over time across Europe, you're going to see some of the stronger banks acquire some of the weaker banks. I think probably seeing that domestically before cross-border. In the situation in Switzerland, I think it's a one-off in terms of the performance of the investment bank and Credit Suisse over a period of time. And I think what the markets are looking for is for this management team, and I think we brought in a strong management team with Axel as chairman and Uli as CEO, and now Dixit Joshi as CFO, to make some bold decisions around the investment bank and allow kind of that core Swiss retail bank, asset management, and private bank continue to grow. But, one of the things I can tell you for sure is this is not 2008. This is not systemic. This is about one institution in a country, Switzerland, with a very strong regulator.
Would you buy this stock right now, Credit Suisse?
I was thinking you might ask me that. I think if you look back in 5 years and you say at this moment, I had to make a decision to buy Credit Suisse shares or sell Credit Suisse shares, I would clearly be a buyer.
You would? So you think the credit default swaps, all of that is a bit of an overreaction?
It's less than 20% of book value. I think the situation with the investment bank needs to be resolved. I think, that's priority number one. But I think the retail bank is very strong. And I think that Credit Suisse has a good position in both asset management and private banking.
All right, that's quite a statement of support. Bob, what I ask you every time, which is, are you still planning to take Circle public? Because you're at the intersection here of two very bad trends with SPACs and with crypto. So is that deal going to happen still?
Yeah, let me take each of those in turn. I mean, SPACs have been around, Sarah, for years and years and years and years. And there have been many successful SPACs. And then we hit the hot market of the last 2 years, which is already dissipating. But SPACs will be here for a long time, high-quality SPACs. We made an agreement with Circle that was to seek approval of the SEC a while ago. It's been a very, very strong collaboration between Concord Acquisition Corp and Circle. We continue to wait for the final approval from the SEC so we can go public. But we really, really like this business in Circle. It's about payments. It's a really well-run business by Jeremy Allaire. We're encouraging the development of a more robust regulatory platform around stablecoins. We think we would benefit as the most conservative. So yes, we're very much looking forward to taking Circle public.